Welcome everyone to our 12th session. This one's been a curveball because just an hour ago we got a message from our guest speaker and everything was scheduled to be about the law of attraction, but she can't make it because she's ill. We will definitely be doing that session in the future very shortly on one of the Sundays as soon as we get confirmation from her. But because we've already booked out this slot, we thought this is a great opportunity to turn it around, and we'll just do some practical meditation work, and we'll have some candid conversation about personal growth techniques. And for those of you who have attended a few sessions, what has worked for you, we'll love to hear from you and maybe brainstorm some more ideas about what can we do in the future even. So I'm just going to admit a few more people and then we'll get this conversation started. And we've got Jayanti as well. So Jayanti, I've just welcomed all our participants for today and told them about the last minute cancellation by Brooklyn because of she being ill today. And we will be doing the session sometime very soon. But today's session, instead, we'll be just having a candid chat and talking about simple tools. And we'll do a couple of meditations that are very, very easy for you to practice in your day-to-day routine. Jayanti, what would you like to say?
Thanks everyone for coming, and apologies about changing the meeting last minute. And thank you all for showing up. So let's get started.
Do you want to?
Are we waiting for people, or do you want to?
Do you want to tell them about what is the structure of our session today?
Sure. So what we're planning to do today is just catching up with everyone, more or less, and we're going to do a little bit of meditation because that's always nice. It's nice because we thought it's an opportunity for all of us to come together, right? So we need to make the most out of it, and I think since we're all here together, might as well get some positivity in, and we can meditate together. So we're going to do a couple of meditations. And then the idea is for us to discuss some of the simple tools, especially ones that Kalyani and I use on a very regular basis, because we use them. And we're quite busy in our lives. Kalyani is a mom, she has 2 kids, and she has a very nice job. And I've got my own baby called a PhD. So we're very busy in our lives, but we always make time for things that are really simple, right? Which we can actually do on a regular basis. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So let's get started. So can I start with giving the simple tools now? Okay, perfect. So I'm going to talk about 3 simple tools that I'm sure Kalyani also uses, but I definitely use them a lot. And we've discussed about these in the past, but I really want to reiterate on these things because they are so simple that we often underestimate the value of these small and simple things that get us habituated. So the first technique we've spoken about is cancel, which is my favorite technique. And you all probably already know about this, but we're going to discuss a little bit about it again for those of you who are new and for those of you who need a reminder. In my case, I've told everybody I know about the cancel technique, and everyone, so sometimes I forget about it, right? And today I found myself calling myself stupid. I said, I'm so stupid, I forgot this thing at home. And then I remembered, oh no, I have to say cancel and I have to forgive myself. So even if you do something that feels really drastically horrible, you get so into the habit of saying these things that it's almost an automated process for me. So how does the cancel technique work? Every time you say something that's deprecating towards yourself, you say, cancel, and I'm getting better and better. The classic example of forgetting names. Uh, and Sachin always says that I'm really bad at remembering names. And I think now he's getting into the habit of cancel. I'm sure he's been remembering more names now. So if there's anybody who wants to talk about them having used this technique, um, do you want to chat with us? Or in the meantime, Kalyani, you can tell us what you think about how cancel has helped you.
Yeah, sure. It seems so simple, really. On the surface, it seems like cancel. What are these two words even going to impact? Um, but it does impact. And I think Jayanti is going to talk more about some micro habits and micro meditation ideas, which I found quite intriguing myself. So, but I think that cancel almost kind of fits into this micro habits category. Uh, when you actually catch yourself in those negative thought spaces. Even that is a great step. Recognizing that you're actually thinking this, or recognizing that you're discarding yourself, is the first step. And then you become aware and you say cancel, and you replace it not with a statement that's totally contradictory, that your brain is going to think, oh wow, I'm just becoming an expert. I know your logic and your analytical mind will always jump at you and play devil's advocate and say that's not how it is. But you know even if there's something deep rooted in you, that if I'm always rushing, like Jayanti said, we have busy lives and managing kids and work and so many other things. It's like I feel like I'm a multitasker all the time. And sometimes I'm rushing to get to places, and I say to myself, oh, I never make it on time. Oh, I'm so bad at managing time. I'm so bad at being punctual. But then I say cancel. I am going to get better. Tomorrow I'm going to do this. And then the slightest thing that you've done in terms of improvement, if you record it, it's easier to look back at the evidence. And evidence always plays, the opposite of the devil's advocate, because the evidence will show to you, will prove to yourself, to your logical mind, that you are indeed getting better and better. So I would definitely say the cancel technique has a great impact.
Kalyani, do you know what is my favorite thing about cancel? And this applies to everyone. There is no excuse for not using this technique. You can say that I don't have 20 minutes of time to do a long relax. I don't have 30 minutes to do this. I don't have so much time to do this and that. There is literally no excuse for not using cancel. Also, because it's not like maybe you're not in a very positive state of mind on a particular day. So cancel is not saying that it's not forcing positivity upon you. Because I think that totally doesn't work, right? If you force positivity on somebody, that's not going to work, because your mind is not going to readily believe it. In fact, I think your mind may even go into a more repulsive state. But if you say something that's very delicate, believable, that's just one tiny step better from what you are right now. And that's not so burdensome, right? If you tell yourself, I'm not going to forget names, that's like, oh, your mind is like, oh, what are you saying? That's impossible. Forget about it. Give up on this. But if you say, maybe I can remember this person's name because I spoke a lot to this person and he or she seemed interesting. And that's not such a big challenge for your mind, right? So cancel, definitely a go-to. Binny said when she gets negative thoughts, she implemented this technique after we explained it. I love that. That's really good, because cancel is all about awareness. It seems simple and childish, but it is extremely profound in terms of the kind of awareness it brings. The more you do it, the more it sticks and it becomes like so automated. So that's cancel. The next technique is lofty questions by Christy Marie Sheldon. We've discussed about this before also. If any of you want to look it up on in more detail, you can Google it. Lofty Questions by Christy Marie Sheldon. It was on her Mind Valley interview and a bunch of other things that she does. So what's the lofty questions technique? And Kalyani and I use it all the time. We also use it with the kids. It is super effective using it with kids, I think. And the kids love this because it's so easy and it's a very fun exercise, right? So what is the lofty questions technique? The technique is that every time you find yourself in a situation where you are faced with something challenging, okay, um, or something really negative. I'll give you an example from my own life about dating. And there's been a strong belief in my life about dating. Dating is hard, and some of you who are single or who have a similar, very rigid belief about a certain thing may be able to relate to this. So it's something like dating is hard. I don't meet the right kind of men, la la la, these kind of things. So it's a very drastic sort of belief, right? So from that, I cannot move into, oh, I'm going to meet the love of my life tomorrow. And my mind will say, what rubbish, just shut up if I say that. So I'm going to move from that into a little bit ahead, next step, which will be asking myself, which will say, okay, let's just try to, for 1 second, remove the focus from there and get it into what's good about these things. Maybe I meet a lot of interesting men and they end up becoming friends, acquaintances, or just some other type of connections. They become Instagram followers. They might come to my Teja webinar, for example. So I think, or they might come to a Toastmasters meeting with me. So these are all situations that have happened, by the way. So I want to just try and shift into a little bit of a positive state of mind and say, why do I meet so many men who are interesting? They may not end up being my life partner, they may not end up being my boyfriend, but I meet men, right? So instead of being disappointed about the fact that I haven't met my boyfriend yet, I will say that why do I meet so many interesting men who have so much in common with me, or who are interested in life, who are positive, who are motivated? There must be something good about those people. So that's, instead of saying that, the idea is to ask a question to the universe. You're not saying, I am so grateful that I met these men, because again, your mind will be like, but remember, the problem is that you don't have a boyfriend. So instead of that, if I frame it into a question, it becomes a lot more palatable for my mind when I say, well, why am I so grateful that I meet these kinds of men? And then slowly I find that every time I'm in a situation where I'm actually grateful, I start noticing and my patterns change. And I keep saying, why am I so grateful that this, every time something good happens, why am I so grateful that I'm getting to eat this wonderful breakfast today morning? Or why am I so great? Why am I so lucky that I live in this nice house with all these nice people and cats? Something small. So your mind really automatically starts focusing into that. So it's called the lofty questions technique. Again, best part is that there are no excuses for not using this technique because it is really simple. And if you're feeling particularly low about something in your life, I would highly encourage you to try this technique. Give it a shot because it is so amazing and it is so addictive almost. Because once you get into it, you will not stop. I'm saying this especially because Kalyani and I have seen this with the kids. When we start getting them into this little habit, they pick up, right, on these things. So I definitely encourage you to use this technique, lofty questions. Kalyani, do you have anything to say about lofty questions? Or if there's any other people who want to ask us some questions about this technique, let us know if you've used this technique. What do you think, Kalyani?
Yeah, I agree. I actually like this technique so much. It is indeed a really fun technique. And you know what? If you think about any problem or any goal in your life that you want to manifest, just observe yourself and think how much time you actually spend worrying about it. How much time do you actually spend thinking about what if I don't get this? So if you're looking for that, you're looking to buy a house and you're looking to buy a certain type of house or certain type of property, what are the chances that you spend so much time thinking, oh, I don't have enough deposit, or what if there's too much competition in the auction, or what if, the what if my loan doesn't get approved? How many thoughts do you have that actually you worry about a negative outcome? The outcome hasn't even happened, okay? It hasn't happened. But you're spending far too much time thinking about what if it doesn't happen. So again, awareness will help you, because when you become aware, just think for a moment that a negative thing couldn't happen. It just couldn't. And just imagine that situation. It's like a daydream. Think about, I have this house that I really want, this dream house. How do I manifest it? So instead of worrying about that, just daydream about what would it take for me to live in the ideal house of my dreams? What would it take? Your mind will not have a logical response to that. Because if you say to your mind, I want to live in this, waterfront house, your mind will say, oh, no way, you don't have the money, you don't have the right job, you don't have savings, you don't have blah, blah, blah. But if you just ask the question, what would it take for me to live in the house that I dream of, an ideal life? Your mind thinks, I don't know, maybe something, ABC. And you never know, when you start thinking, you put yourself in that situation again and again, you actually start attracting the path towards unlocking that goal. It may not happen to you tomorrow, but you're just throwing it out to the universe, and you will encounter situations, coincidences that will actually lead you to that path. And you will realize you're spending so much time in, as Jayanti said, in the gratitude. Or you look at the smaller details. For example, you're looking to save some money, maybe your tax return came and you got more than you expected, and you look at it, oh my god, yes, I did get more money than I thought. Step one, you recognize, you feel grateful. Something like that will happen. All these coincidences will start showing up, and they're not coincidences. They are things that you are unlocking because you're thinking in a certain pattern. And that's the reason why the lofty questions are so powerful in changing your thought pattern. Instead of spending far too much time worrying about an outcome, a negative outcome of what if, which hasn't even happened yet, you just train your mind. It's like when you exercise, you're training the muscles, you train your mind to think in a certain pattern, which then opens up all these opportunities for you. And that's the reason the lofty questions, and especially kids, they get really good at it because they're so good at daydreaming and imagining.
Yes, I
Just
love
a
that.
reminder
Yes.
to people who joined late, that we had a last minute cancellation by our guest speaker this evening, and hence the reason we are just doing like a more practical hands-on workshop and a couple of meditations, and then we'll just do some candid chat around what are the personal growth techniques that you like and what worked for you. So the law of attraction will happen soon. The guest speaker will definitely give us an alternative date. So I'll hand over to Jayanti again.
Thanks, Kalyani. We are, yeah, I think the universe is all about timing, right? So maybe there was another time assigned for the law of attraction. Um, but today we're talking about the simple tools. Thanks for explaining that. So I think first lofty question would be, why am I so lucky? And the second lofty question would probably be, what would it take for me to get so and so things? Just off the top of my head, I had this thought, and I'm wondering what you think about it. And this could be for all of you. You can tell us now if you've tried these techniques, or you can tell us later trying both the things. Sometimes I find that affirmations can be a little too overwhelming for some people. You know, um, you say, on a particular day when I feel very bloated and I feel fat and I feel ugly, and suddenly if I have to like impose myself with this affirmation, I am attractive, I am beautiful, it might help me a little bit to get into the space of feeling good, but it may not immediately seem believable, and maybe too big a step, which I will feel like discarding. And in such a situation, I feel like a lofty question would be a much better approach. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's almost like imposter syndrome, you know. when, when I'm thinking, I want this amazing waterfront house, and I'm thinking, oh, I'm going to be so rich. I'm going to live this amazing mortgage-free lifestyle, and my mind is going, that's rubbish. It's like it is the imposter syndrome. So, and the affirmations, you could say it on a daily basis, but I think it almost loses its, the excitement is there at the beginning. If you write down some affirmations and look in the mirror and make eye contact with yourself and say, I am grateful and I'm abundant and I'm so lucky, I'm attracting all the right people, the right situations, and I'm deserving enough to achieve my goals. But I think it kind of wears off a bit. And I think the lofty questions have definitely got more impact, because when you ask the question, your mind just can't, the brain, the logical mind, which constantly tries to negate something that you're saying, it can't do that to a question. Just simply it can't. So hence the power lies in asking the question and then collecting little bits of evidence. And that's how bit by bit your thinking is changing, your pattern is changing, and your habits are changing. That's the reason the lofty questions are far more powerful.
I love that. I love that collecting the evidence part. I think that is the key thing, because when you ask a question, your mind immediately wants to answer that question, and it immediately wants to look for an evidence. If you just whereas if you just make a clear statement, the mind is going to get, you're attractive. So what? You know. Whereas if you say, why am I so attractive, and the mind will go, oh, why does she think she's attractive? Maybe it was because you saw yourself in the mirror and you felt so beautiful, or there was a lady who complimented you at the coffee shop, or your mind will start looking for those little evidences of when you felt attractive, when you ask that question. So Kalashri's got a question, by the way, which is great. What is the lofty question you can ask when you feel bloated and ate too much? I love that. I think we've all been there at some point of time when we've eaten too much. I think the lofty question that I would ask in this situation is, why am I so lucky to get abundant food in my life? You know, some people are really good at cooking. I would say I'm really good at eating. So you can, if it's a different cuisine you tried, or just on a particular day you allowed yourself to eat too much, um, you can ask yourself the lofty question, why am I so lucky to get this abundant supply of food?
You can also ask, you can also say to yourself, I mean, if you have the ability to burn off the calories that you have consumed, you can also say, why am I so lucky that I can, next day I can go for a 10-kilometer walk to burn off the calories? Or why am I so lucky that I'm physically fit to be able to exercise? Something like that.
Oh, Gayatri's got a nice one. Why am I blessed to be able to eat this food as compared to people who can't because of stomach issues?
Oh, it's valid.
Yes. You can say you have a healthy appetite. Yes.
Exactly, yeah.
I love that.
And I think we are too critical of ourselves when we eat too much, but we don't appreciate ourselves enough when we exercise. So again, gathering
Yes.
that evidence of, if you've done some exercise or walk, you pat yourself on the back saying, look, I'm capable of doing this. Why am I so lucky that I can do this? And I think the more you get appreciative of the fact that you are able to have
I
a
love that.
routine about working out, you will stop being so hard on yourself for eating too much on a given day.
Yes, definitely. You can be grateful to the person who made the food for you. If somebody else has made the food, you can be grateful to yourself about, you can appreciate your own cooking skills if you've made the food. It's pretty endless where you can go from there. If anyone has any other thing that they would want to get lofty questions on, feel free to chat in the type in the chat window. But until then, I'll get started on the next tool that I have in my toolbox. But feel free to keep typing in the chat window. So the last tool, which I discovered quite recently, is a very interesting one. It's called something called micro habits. So any habit can be turned into a micro habit. Exercise can be turned into a micro habit. You say, I want to go to the gym for 1 hour. And you woke up in the morning, and instead of waking up at 6:45, you woke up at 7 or 7:15, and you say, I don't have 1 hour now, and I can't meet my target of going to the gym for 1 hour. Instead of that, what if you said, I don't have this target of 1 hour, I'm just going to exercise for 2 minutes. And by doing that, I'm not going to say it's going to have a very massive impact on your body, but you can check it off your list that today I did something. I woke up and I exercised. Exercising for 2 minutes is better than not exercising. So it goes on the something is better than nothing policy. The key principle is to be kind to yourself. That is the most important underlying thing about micro habits. Everything in general also, you need to be kind to yourself, but especially while practicing micro habits, I do not give you the permission of beating yourself up saying that I only did this for 2 minutes. Taken away. You cannot say that. So if you say that I have a meditation practice which is for 20 minutes, can you turn it into a shorter meditation practice that's for like 2 minutes? And oftentimes people will find that if they get into these micro habits of meditating for 2 minutes, they will say, okay, I'm going to meditate for 2 minutes now, and they might end up meditating for 10 minutes. So this is something that has been seen commonly in people. So it's just about doing it. That's it. So that's a simple thing that you can practice for everything. Is there something that you want to learn? A new language? Do you want to learn a new skill? There are, I'm not saying this can be applicable to everything. There are some things which actually do take a lot of time. Like cooking, for example, may take more time than other activities, but there's always something you can do, you know, take that one little step that is better than not doing anything. So meditating for 2 minutes, better than not meditating. Exercising for 2 minutes, better than not exercising. So all of these things, the good habits that we want to sort of inculcate in our life, if we start doing them, the micro versions of them, eventually we may get to a point where we will actually be doing full versions of them. But if not, at least we know that we did micro versions of them. So it's all about being kinder to yourself. And Margot is saying, just do it. Yes, that is the principle. Exactly. Just do it. Because sometimes you feel like, okay, you want to be kind to yourself, but there is this thing that if you want to be kind to yourself and you also at the same time want to keep consistency, use a micro habit and just do it. So Madhu is saying that the micro habit of exercising is resonating with her. That's amazing. And read for 2 minutes. Can you read a book for 2 minutes? I'm sure, you know, you can read one page at least. So yes, please try this micro habit thing. And so going before that, Kalyani, do you have something to say about micro habits? Something that you do? And other people can still type into the chat window if they want to say something about micro habits, or if they want to talk and share, that's fine too.
Sure. I think it's such an important building block for habits, for impressing new habits. I think at the end of the day, your brain doesn't care how long you did. If you did it every day, that is the bottom line. Consistency is the key to everything, I think, in life. So I always say to my kids as well, someone can be really, really smart and very clever, and they just, learn a new subject, they grasp, and they can understand and reproduce. But the person who works every single day is going to beat them at the end of the day. The person who does the work every single day is hands down the winner. So a consistent person is going to be the winner. And it's not just about academic life. It's about paving the way for future. Anything you want to do, whether, like Jayanti said, whether it's fitness, whether it's personal growth, whether it's learning a new skill, it can apply to almost anything and everything. And it'll help you so much with the guilt as well, because I feel like when I go to bed, I'm so guilty. A lot of the times I'm guilty because I'm thinking, oh, I haven't done this, or I haven't done that, I haven't done this. And the reason is, when I look at it, I go, oh, it's too much time. I don't have time for this. Put off, put off, put off. And sometimes I do have the time for it, and I think, oh, I don't have the energy for it now. Put off again. And that all, it's kind of there in your brain it's processing when you're about to sleep. You're almost drifting into alpha state. That's where all these thoughts will start rising up, and you think, oh my God, I'm not good enough because I didn't do this, and this. And that's where the 2-minute thing will be really handy, because when you're going to bed and thinking about your day, you think, oh wow, I've done. Even if it's very short time. And that's going to help you the next day and the next day. So that it's more likely that you will do something the next day because you're satisfied that you did it the previous day. And that's exactly what habits are about. Not saying that I'm terribly good at it myself, but trying to learn.
That's so true. So I've decided just now, by the way, I've decided that because yes, I just remembered that yesterday I was having a chat with some friends, and one of the friends actually complimented me saying, "You're so good with languages," and I said, "Maybe I am," and I learned Italian like many years ago, but I never like practiced it, or I got out of the habit of speaking because there was nobody Italian around me. So I have decided that every day I'm going to dedicate 2 minutes um, on Duolingo or a language learning app to learn Italian for 2 minutes. Arun says, now I appreciate a person who takes a book to the toilet. Yes, 100%. I agree. It is way better than taking your phone to the toilet, for sure. So yeah, a toilet time is a great time for building a new habit. I love that.
I think we can also build a habit of
Thanks,
staying
Arun.
away from the
So I have
phone.
decided that my new micro habit for 2 minutes. Yes, definitely. I like that. Consciously take 2 minutes away from your phone. I think that's good enough. I love it. Yeah. So, does anyone else have something to share about some kind of micro habit that you're inspired to take up? I'm going to try to learn Italian again. Maybe you can tell us later if you incorporated this thing in your life and you built on a micro habit.
Yep. I think feel free
Do you
to
have a
type.
micro habit, Kalyani, you want to take?
Yeah. Are you asking me?
Yeah.
Good point. I need to think. What am I going to do? I think I already incorporated exercise through the micro habit, because I've done like this thing where it's almost non-negotiable, where I do. We had a speaker called Raghavendra Patil who talked about mind-body connection, and he talked exactly about micro yoga. And I thought, what is micro yoga?
Yes.
It's just like, if you don't have time to do anything else, just do this kind of stretching and warm-up yoga. And I've actually calculated it takes no more than 12 to 15 minutes, depending on how you do it. And that's like a non-negotiable for me now. So the day I haven't done it, I feel, and the days that I haven't done are getting fewer and fewer than compared to the days that I've done it. So I think it definitely helps.
I love that. Bini said something awesome. She said gratitude is an amazing micro habit before going to bed after meditation. Gratitude takes 5 seconds also. Not even 2 minutes. If you do it for 2 minutes, that'll be amazing. But even 10 seconds is good enough, I think. And I think I urge you all strongly to try this thing, and which often helps me. It may be difficult for some people, but I think I really take notice of the things that I'm complaining about the most in my life. For example, I might be complaining a lot about my PhD. And I try to, sometimes, some days it is really hard. I'm being honest. Some days it is really hard, but I try to be especially grateful about something in that area. Maybe a colleague was nice to me, even if my supervisor was not nice to me. You know, so take special notice of the things that you are complaining about the most and try to find something that you are grateful for in that exact area. If it's your relationship, something about relationships that you're grateful for. If it's work, something about work that you're grateful for. So yeah, thanks, Binny. It can be done along with prayers, meditation before sleeping. Yes, definitely. 100% with you. Thank you for sharing that. So on the subject of micro habits now, I'm going to do a small micro meditation for all of us, which is extremely simple. And actually learned this technique not in any of the meditation courses, but it was in one of the nutrition courses that I did with Mind Valley, which is called YFit. So I did YFit a few months ago, and in YFit, the principle, there were many principles, but the first and most important principle was breathing. And so he said that the only two things that we really require every day in our lives is air and water. So breathing is a really, really important thing, which you may find extremely silly when I say it like that, because you feel like, oh, well, I'm breathing right now because I'm alive. But what I mean by that is conscious breathing. So let's do this conscious breathing exercise, which I learned in YFit. So it's really, really, really simple. So I'm going to ask you all to sit comfortably and just close your eyes. And we're going to do 5 rounds of breathing 5 times. So it's a 5 by 5 breathing. So first round, breathe for 5 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and release for 5 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe again for 5 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And breathe for 5 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 more times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so you have to keep doing this anytime during the day. Whenever you feel overwhelmed, you feel stressed, or just generally you're sitting, you don't have anything to do, you're waiting at a bus stop, just breathe in for 5 counts and breathe out for 5 counts. And you have to do this 5 times a day. If it's too much, do it 2 times a day. Do it 1 time a day. But just take some time to breathe consciously during the day, which is so simple. It's not an extensive meditation. It does not need any kind of recording, music, nothing. All you have to do is breathe. And I promise you, you will feel much better. Even if you just do it once a day when you're feeling overwhelmed, you just pause. You could be standing at a bus stop and do this, you know. So those are my simple techniques. You're already feeling better. Yeah. Conscious breathing is that you can do it anywhere. Exactly. You can sit at your desk and do it. I could be waiting between performing an experiment and I could do it, so it's a very simple tool. It's almost like a micro meditation. So that's the micro habits. So we did 3 techniques. The cancel, my favorite. No excuses for not using it because it's so simple, and so effective. The next technique is lofty questions. Remember, sometimes a question is better than an affirmation, because it will really help your mind to look for evidence. And the third technique is micro habits. And we all spoke about how effective this can be and how important consistency is in our lives. So over to you, Kalyani.
Thank you, Jayanti. Very good reminder about the techniques, and they are really indeed very simple to practice, and no excuses for not utilizing them in our everyday lives. So this is exciting. Let's talk about what has worked for you. So this is the candid chat that we were talking about at the start of the session. I'm really keen, and you have to unmute yourself and just share an experience or anything when you attended the past. So this is the 12th session. If you've attended sessions in the past or some other technique that you've followed and found effective, you've got some example or a story to share, please unmute yourself and I invite you to have a chat with us. You can type in the chat box, but yeah, I would encourage some discussion.
Nana, do you want to say something?
I attended one webinar when you have introduced me to a book called Ask and It Is Given. I read through that book not only as a reading, but also to practice something out of it. And it is amazing. It's working so well for me because I have created some creative workshops for the dreams I have or the things which I am wanting in my life. And I feel that it's not only one time making that creative workshop for fulfilling that and keeping it I have made it dynamic. So every day I visit those workshops and add something which is happening, which is occurring to me, which are some new ideas coming in, and I really feel it is wonderful. It's working really wonderfully well. So I'm thankful to you for introducing me to the book called I would recommend everybody to read that, Ask and It Is Given. It's all about creative visualization, and I believe that all your techniques which you explained now all can be applied in those creative workshops. Thank you very much.
I love it. That's great. That's the book by Esther Hicks, right?
Right. I think there are two authors, one husband wife.
Jerry and Esther. Yeah.
Right.
Jerry and Esther Hicks. They are brilliant and they are some of the pioneering people in the law of attraction, the subject that we were going to speak about. But definitely. So we've got some comments about creative visualization, uh, parental influences was amazing. Yes. That's fine. If you can type in the chat window, that's okay too. Oh, you got into the habit of journaling. That's great.
Anyone else want to share anything, or you can just type in the chat box as well.
If you don't have your video on and you just want to speak, that's fine too.
Hi everyone. I would like to talk a bit about micro habits. So talking about the micro habits, I really I would like to say had a very bad habit of sleeping very late at night. I used to get very busy with my submissions being a student. So, and I used to feel really productive late at night because it used to be very silent. But somehow that was affecting the next day, the task that I was supposed to do the next day. So I carried, like, consciously I made a habit to sleep. Like, usually I used to sleep at 2 at night. So I consciously made a habit to sleep like 15 minutes before the usual sleeping time. Then I decreased it to like 30 minutes, and then by 1 hour. And I think I'm doing great because nowadays I sleep at 11:30, and I think that's fine, and that's working for me like it's a miracle. Yeah, so that's my micro habit, which turned to be a blessing for me.
That's great. That's an amazing story.
Yeah, instead of making like a radical change of, oh, I need to go to bed at 10, just the 15-minute shift can really help a lot.
I agree. And I think sometimes people go really cold turkey on quitting habits and say, from tomorrow, I'm not going to do this. And maybe it works for some people. So if you're those kind of people, well, go for it. Go cold turkey on your habits or quitting your habits. But if you're not, try a micro habit. Make a small change every day. While we're on this subject, I want to recommend this book that I was reading a while ago, which I haven't finished yet, but I thought it was really good. It's called Atomic Habits by James Clear. I'll type in the chat window.
We've got another comment about cancel, removing a negative thought really quick. It certainly does help in removing the negative thought quick, especially because when you say cancel, and replace it with a positive yet believable, assertive statement, that makes a difference. Shall we move on to the problem solving technique?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So I'm aware, we were thinking, that last moment we've changed this and talking about just doing this candid conversation, we would definitely finish well before an hour, 40, 45 minutes, oh, plenty of time. It's already exceeded that. So clearly we can talk, and we love these subjects.
Yes.
Okay. So quickly about, it's a bit about what I was saying before. When you have a problem that you're trying to solve, or you're trying to work towards this goal you have, more often you catch yourself thinking about the negative outcome. And again, stressing that the outcome hasn't even happened yet. So you apply for a job. Oh, what if I don't get the job? What if someone else is better than me? Who else has applied? What would be their credentials? I mean, honestly, these are all things out of your control. So instead of thinking about that, why not daydream? The problem with daydreaming is we feel like if we start building our hopes, and if it doesn't work out, we'll be far more disappointed. So our mind is kind of going to that primitive thinking of the mind, the brain, the amygdala is constantly trying to prevent you from danger. And the primitive thinking will say, okay, let's be conservative about this. Let's not get into too much daydreaming or, building castles in the air. No. But I would say do the exact opposite, because it's not about that disappointment. If you're not pinning your hopes to a particular job, but a particular feeling of achievement, then you're bound to get to that feeling, if not at this opportunity, the next or something else. But you will pursue those opportunities only if you keep that thought intact. So you need to shift your thinking along the lines of, how do I solve this problem by actually visualizing more of the solution, visualizing more of, and not even the solution, but the part after the solution, the part of achieving. So if you start spending more of your time in that zone of post problem solving and getting the solution, you're bound to find more opportunities. You're bound to attract people that will help you. You're bound to get lucky. You will just get lucky. And the law of attraction is almost going to talk about all these things. And we can't wait to bring the guest speaker, because she is an amazing person with so much experience and so much. She's truly a subject matter expert. But we are only kind of scratching the surface here. So I am going to go through a very simple problem solving meditation that you can use. Again, as Jayanti said, it can be you can daydream as much as you like, or you can daydream for like 5 minutes. But the idea of the important part about the daydream is to really focus on the emotions, the feeling. You have to, when you've achieved your target or your goal, the feeling that you would get, the excitement, the accomplishment, the thrill, that is the emotion we are dwelling. We're spending much more time dwelling in that emotion. And the more you dwell on that emotion, and the clearer you make that picture, the better your frame of mind will be. And you'll see that the positivity, it's like a lasting thing. The more you practice, the more it lasts. And the spaces in between where you're thinking negative or you're disappointed, you'll still be disappointed and you'll still be negative, but you'll catch yourself spending far less time in those spaces. So let's go through. I'll invite you to think about a problem, or it's not a problem really. It's something that you probably are looking to achieve but haven't achieved yet. So it's just current scenario versus the future, the ultimate goal. You can have, the most ambitious goal or a simple goal. It's up to you, whatever you want to utilize for this example. And we'll be doing a very, very simple meditation. I don't know if it's called problem solving meditation, but I'm just naming it that for convenience. So I'm going to guide you through this quick meditation. So I invite you to take a comfortable sitting position. Close your eyes. I'm going to do a 10 to 1 countdown, and with each descending number, you'll feel your body being more and more relaxed. 10, 9, 8. Keep your breathing normal, slow, deliberate. 7, 6, 5. Your body is now more and more relaxed. 4. Keep breathing deep. 3, 2, 1. You're now at a more relaxed and deeper state of mind. Your brain frequency has dropped, and we will utilize this frequency to do the problem solving meditation. On your right hand side, with your eyes closed, just visualize a big TV screen. And in this TV screen, we are going to visualize the problem, the current scenario, what it is that you're trying to resolve at the moment, the current scenario as it is now. We won't be giving it too much attention. Just quickly bring the scene to your mind. And now, as if you've got a whiteboard eraser, just erase that scene out. You may use your hands, just erase it out. Your TV screen is now blank, and you are Slowly moving your TV screen to the left. With your eyes closed, move the TV screen to your left. And now turn on this TV screen with a remote which shows the celebration. It's showing a scene of when you've achieved the goal already. How did you achieve it? What happened? We don't want to know about that. We just want to focus on post-achievement of this goal. See this picture in high definition on your TV, on your left. See yourself smiling. Who's in the scene with you? What are the people talking about? They're congratulating you. They're appreciating you. You're feeling accomplished, thrilled. Feel people around you hugging you, shaking your hand. Feel the feeling of relief washing over you, the joy. See who's around you. Smell the ambience. Hear what people are saying. Make the picture crystal clear. What are you wearing? Where are you standing? Your high definition picture becomes clearer and clearer. And you're feeling confident, joyful, accomplished, very thrilled with your achievement. Bring a smile to your face. What are you feeling? Let your brain absorb that amazing feeling of conquering and achieving. And now slowly bring the TV screen to the middle. You have now turned the TV screen off, and you get that feeling of when you've just come out of a fantastic film, the film of your life, when you have achieved the goal that you desire. Take a deep, delicious breath. And now I'm going to count you out of the meditation with a feeling of hope and a can-do attitude. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open your eyes, feeling refreshed, amazing. You can do it. And the universe has your back. I hope the meditation helped you. What did you think, Jayanti?
I thought it was so great. It's a wonderful meditation. And I felt like I really went into the feeling of after I had achieved it. And I love this statement, may this or something better come to me.
Fantastic.
So
It hardly takes long. And the mentor, our mentor, Jayanti will vouch for this. She said to us that she's been practicing this kind of problem solving for years. And it's not that everything has been so rosy for her, but she's trying to, improvise the technique every single time. And I think one time she wanted to manifest something, and she decided that she's going to use this technique for 21 days without fail. And the day she couldn't do it or she didn't have time, she would go back to day 1. So she had made a promise to herself that she would do it non-stop for 21 days, and the results were mind-blowing. So I think it is a big ask to do it for 21 days, but I'm in a phase where I'm trying to unlock this goal for me, and I'm doing my best to do this problem solving meditation. And each day I feel you almost, it's almost like it's not building up expectation. It's almost like, what if it doesn't happen? You still think, because you are in that zone so long, you feel like the universe is going to gift you something anyway. Doesn't matter if it's not this. That feeling remains with you, and you start having more and more faith. I don't know. What do you think, Jayanti?
I definitely agree with you. And look, it's not a guarantee that whatever you visualized will happen, right? There's no guarantee in life about anything. But it's all about the feeling, and I think it's all about. It's exactly what you said. It's about like, may this or something better come to me. And I think you and I are both in the process of applying for jobs at the moment. So I think it's very relevant for us. Maybe some other people who have applied for jobs or doing something similar. I think the key thing is to visualize not a particular job, but rather the feeling of how you would feel in that new job, surrounded by people who support you, colleagues that you are grateful for. So I think the key element is not not even the what of the creative visualization, but really the feeling, the sound of applause, or the feeling of somebody's hand shaking your hand, hopefully in a post-COVID time, uh, when we're allowed to do all this. Now you may try to like feel the feeling of someone's elbow touching your elbow. Oh well. But just those little feelings that doesn't happen. Maybe something else, maybe something better, but the similar feeling.
That's right. And we've got some feedback, so I'm glad if it has helped you. Felt wonderful. They really lived the feeling of having achieved. I think that's the key, living the feeling of achieving it. And exactly right. You visualize someone else, your family, your business partner, or whoever it is who is going to benefit from that situation other than you, and that is even more powerful. It takes it to the next level, definitely. So I think that's the end of it, and we had
There's one more thing I want to add, which
yeah,
Jin says very commonly, which is that when you I'm going off in between.
That's okay. We can hear you.
Yeah. Okay, now I am here. Yeah, I just wanted to quickly add something that Jenny always says, which is that if you, on the side, how that goal is going to benefit any other people other than you, how that goal is going to make them happy, that would be another excellent addition.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because the greater good is definitely a bigger, very, very powerful driving force in you achieving that. Okay, so I think everyone really found the simple tools very helpful. So I would like to say that, when you're, especially with micro habits, it's always amazing to have an accountability partner or a check-in partner who says to you, did you do your micro habit practice today? So we announced this at the last session as well, that we are now offering something called the check-in sessions. So disclaimer, we are not trained psychologists, therapists, or although Jayanti has had training in mental health first aid, so she's a mental health first aider. So we are passionate about this subject. We care about the potential our mind has, and the immense power each one of us has. And you just need to unlock that. And sometimes you just need a check-in partner or an accountability partner who can encourage you, inspire you, and bring out the best in you. It's all in you. It's not someone else giving you the solution. Your solution is within you. But you just need someone to push it a little bit and bring it out in you. So we have put together some thought into some check-in sessions we have available, and we are offering customized guided meditation for you. So if you're looking to solve a particular problem or achieving a goal for whether it's your health, whether it's work, whether it's finance, we can record and customize a meditation specifically for you that you can listen to for these. If you're trying to do like a 21-day session and listening to that meditation, going over it, it will definitely help you to resolve that particular challenge in your life. And the generic meditation can be powerful to some extent, but a customized meditation has got far more impact. And Jayanti and I are very keen to offer this to you. Do you want to say something, Jayanti?
Yes, thank you so much. That's really a good reminder for everyone that we're offering these services. I think, like how we spoke about the subject of affirmations versus lofty questions, for example. And sometimes one may be in a dilemma of why a certain thing is not working for them, or you might be feeling blocked about a particular thing. You might be having some blocks in meditation, for example. And I feel like if you're going through something like that, this would definitely be a thing that will help you. So that's because we'd love to have a chat with you one-on-one, and then design a meditation for you specifically. So we can have a check-in session first. We can chat a little bit, know what it is exactly that you want to work on. There are lots of meditations out there. They are super generic. There are lots of apps also, which are also pretty much generic, and they're good to practice. But I feel like sometimes you want to be designing a meditation which will really meet a purpose. So that's what we're here for.
So we welcome you to get in touch with us. You can, so our details are here. You can email us, you can contact us on Instagram, or even personally if you know, if you have our contact details. And as you know, each session is recorded and available on our YouTube channel. So you will find all the past sessions if you're interested in catching up. And there's an Instagram account that we have that we post some daily inspiration, ideas, and we'll also love to hear from you if you have a specific topic that you want us to cover in a webinar, or a specific kind of guest speaker you would like to recommend, then we would love to hear it.
Yes.
Okay, so
So you can reach out to us and let us know. Yeah.
great. So I think with that, we'll conclude the session for today. And thank you so much for joining. And I hope that the meditations and the tools are useful to you, and you'll practice them and you'll get some good benefits out of it. And please get in touch if you would like a customized guided meditation, or if you would like to have a check-in session. We are more than happy. Or if you have any stories to share about what techniques work for you, please feel free to share with us. Thank you so much once again for joining us, and we'll be announcing shortly when the law of attraction session will be happening. Thank you, everyone.
Okay. Bye-bye. Have a nice week.